When I say Jay Powell is subliminally telling us to pay no attention to the inflation boogeyman behind the curtain, I'm acknowledging that my fellow baby boomers, well, they got a point. The big money pullers, especially the hedge fund managers, they believe that Jay Powell's deliberately ignoring inflation because he's not the kind of traditional hard money Fed chair they want. They see Powell as a bleeding heart liberal. Never mind that he was a Republican appointee or that Trump spent years bashing him for being too hawkish. God can't win. All right, where's the inflation? All right, last night we heard from Dow Chemical on this show about how lots of chemical plants are being shut down by big storm in Texas and Louisiana. That's pushing up the price of nearly every form of plastic, building block of our society. These price increases are insane, but they're sticking. We know there's tremendous demand for copper. Look at that price. Aluminum, the latter finally moving up after years of dormancy. Price of lumber doubled in the last year. That's the biggest cost of new housing, besides labor, which is also rising. Today, Lennar reported barn burner of a quarter, in part because they can charge more for houses. Those prices are sticking. We see steel increases one after another after another. Semiconductor prices soaring because of chip shortages all over the place. There's an unprecedented level of demand, and it's not going down anytime soon. The result, cars and trucks cost more, and the scarcity of both is driving up prices, including for used cars. Oh, and don't even get me started about oil. You see that every day. How widespread is inflation? Listen, Hershey caught an upgrade today, and the most salient reason the research firm gave, unlike every other important agricultural commodity, the price of cocoa isn't increasing. Powell sees all this and he dismisses it as short-term in nature. But these older money managers think he's making a huge mistake. Once inflation gets rolling, they believe it spirals out of control. So they're dumping the growth stocks, dumping them because their future earnings are worth less in a world of elevated inflation. Meanwhile, they're piling into the stocks of companies that can put through big price increases. Anything that makes, bends, twists, or spindles a commodity. Like Caterpillar, Deere. All right, how about the second group? That don't worry about a cohort. All right, well, the first group wants to wear silly buttons that say whip inflation now. Those of us in the second cohort, and I count myself as a member, we want a pin that says, I'm with Jay. Why? In part because a lot of these price increases indeed are the result of temporary shortages, like the weather. You give it some time, the bottlenecks will clear and prices will come back down. And if you tighten now and the prices come back down, then we'll have a recession, for heaven's sake. Just as important, if the Fed wants to stamp out inflation, it has to slam the brakes on the whole economy. And that seems like a bad deal right now. We still haven't fully recovered from the pandemic. Entire industries have been devastated, service industries. Millions of jobs lost, haven't come back yet. Why the heck would the Fed try to slow down the economy now before everybody's vaccinated, gotten their jobs back? Finally, there's this third group that I like so much, which represents a big chunk of the Robinhood or Cash App, that's owned by Square crowd, who've been drawn in by the commission-free trading and the love of it. Oh, they've tasted it. Now, there are millions of these people who are about to get stimulus checks, and they know they want to put a decent chunk of that money to work in the stock market. So they're buying stocks with gusto. Now, they didn't know that Jay Powell talked today. They didn't. I mean, they may not even know who Jay Powell is. They don't get that stocks have historically keyed off of bonds. They don't care about that. Here's what they do know. You make no money in bonds. True. You make no money in cash. True. But ever since the market bottomed a year ago, you make big money in stocks. True. Their buying is what supports this bull market. They're the ones who can't be bothered with the baby boomers' inflation obsession. They just wish us boomers would just fade away.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.